What is the best medicine? Victory. What is the best antidote against the narcissistic shared fantasy? Reality. The narcissistic family is a cult, and it sacrifices human beings. It sacrifices the livelihood of human beings around them. It needs a scapegoat. It needs something to dump and project their own self-image on. They need somebody who is responsible for the lack of responsibility, accountability, ability, and energy. The narcissistic family cult is based on human sacrifice. And the narcissistic shared fantasy is the tool to bring the sacrifice. You must reject to be sacrificed. You must destroy the narcissistic shared fantasy using reality. And this is the best medicine, because this is victory. See, the narcissistic family is driven by death drive, which was discovered by Sabina Spielrein. They have a grandiose sense of self. The head of the narcissistic family has a grandiose sense of self, which is based on insecurity and introjects. It means there is a voice in their head that keeps repeating that they are unlovable. The narcissist does not know what self-love is, therefore they are externally regulating. They use other people to love them. They also need scapegoats, and they need to humiliate other people to feel better. They are sadistic. Therefore, the humiliation rituals. They just don't understand that they humiliate themselves, and some do, and enjoy even that. That's the self-mortification style, okay? So this is the craziest, most insane, and most elaborated way to supply is the sadomasochistic self-mortification ritual. Okay, that's the most elaborate model ever. It's almost as elaborate as the Cartman's drama triangle within the Hall of Mirrors, which is a kind of competitive victim and saviorhood within the narcissistic family cult. So everybody wants to be the savior and the victim and the perpetrator, but the position and the role they want to play competitively depends on the person they tell it. So they have a different narration for everybody. So inside the narcissistic family, they are proud of being the villain. I'm so evil, I'm so all-powerful, I'm so strong, I'm the winner. I humiliate this person by being a coward. But to the outside, they are victims and saviors. Oh, I had to do it to save this and that. Oh, I had to do it because I was victimized before. I'm a victim. But we were talking about the most elaborate model to understand the narcissistic family cult, and that is the sadomasochistic self-mortification mechanism. And it works this way. You create a humiliation ritual, like Jada Pinkett Smith. You get in a mentally sick person. In the best case, you're like Jada Pinkett Smith, a high-functioning psychopath, and then you get some covert narcissist, and then you humiliate the target using this constellation and what I said before, the Cartman drama triangle within the Hall of Mirrors. But the humiliation ritual is another layer of that, and the self-mortification works this way. You do something to inflict pain on others. You humiliate another person. Then you extract sadistic supply because you are very sick. You enjoy it to hurt other people. But you're also masochistic, so you enjoy inflicting pain to yourself. And it is painful to hurt other people if you have empathy. Because you see, you see that you're bad. You experience it and you're ashamed for being bad. And we're not done. The person you humiliate will confront you with what you're doing, in the best case even publicly, telling other people what you're doing, to humiliate them. And this creates mortification, because ultimately, when you expose someone who does this, it's very shameful. Therefore, they are mortified now, because to the outside, they want to look like the savior or the victim, not like the villain. Therefore, you mortify them. And some of them even enjoy being mortified in the public. This is hard to understand, but I always get a picture of a child that does not get attention from mama and then uses the productive, what is productive when you are a 2-year-old child is there's a form of productiveness that you can use, okay? And then the child does this, and then the child is proud of producing this feces, okay? Child is proud to produce this, and mama is angry because now mama has to change the diapers. A bad mother would be angry, and the child knows this. Mama will give me negative attention when I am productive, right? So this is the self-mortification. They are proud of being mortified because they get attention. They get even attention from the public now. The mortification creates a damming up of destrudo and libido, the life drive that is twisted with narcissists and psychopaths anyway, so they are controlled by the death drive instead of by the life drive. But I can't explain everything here. I have videos where I explain this. And so they damming up destrudo, which is death drive, and death drive is the same as life drive. They are the same force, it's not a duality. So they damming up destrudo by creating a ritual that is extracting sadistic, masochistic, and even mortification supply. And they can reinvest this dammed up energy in further humiliation rituals, okay? So this is the way that narcissistic families sacrifice livelihood of human beings. They also use children to extract supply, and they use children to hurt other people because they know that when their own dysfunction as parents hurts the children, it will hurt everybody who loves the children. So they use parental alienation, decaying the development of the children to hurt everybody who loves the children and wants the children to have a healthy development. And this is another form of human sacrifice. Also, letting children communicate over topics that the parents should handle in a grown-up way. So they will impair the communication of the parents and then let the children suffer from the dysfunctional communication and try to make up for the lack of communication. Another form of human sacrifice. They are completely unempathetic and are not interested in the welfare of their children. They only want attention, livelihood, and energy, and they extract it forceful and violently. So, you must destroy the shared fantasy using reality. After you're ejected from the narcissistic abuse family, you will not immediately be able to say, oh, I'm victorious now. No, that's a self-lie, that's a narcissistic shared fantasy. I'm the super empath now, going supernova. They get karma, blah, blah, blah. You might need years. You need to reintroduce yourself to reality. You let go all spoiled relationships, all spoiled everything. Everything that is in touch with the narcissist is decaying into vanity. It's poisoned, unalive, okay? So you reintroduce yourself to reality, you regerminate your personality core, you grow back yourself. And then you confront the narcissists with their own dysfunction. It's all coming from their side. There is no dysfunction if you made everything right for years. Of course you stop consuming substances. Of course you do your homework. Of course you stand up strong. Of course you bring everything to the table they don't have. You can also bring to the table evidence for coercive control. You bring it all. Bring it. Anyway, what I want to tell you is reality. You're real. You have a position. You have equal rights. Equal rights destroy narcissists. In their shared fantasy, you are inferior. They can't accept it when you're equal. And when you can prove that they don't accept your equality, it shows dysfunction on their side, and you can leverage dysfunction. I mean, if you don't have any reason to talk to them, yeah, just leave them behind. That's easy. You don't need anything from them. But if you have any reason, you have to communicate with them or be in some touch with them. Do what I say. And if you need the cure of victory, it's reality that brings you there. They can't stand reality. So I repeat it one more time and then we're good. The narcissistic family uses humiliation rituals to bring human sacrifice. And they have some other quirks that I also mentioned in this video to bring the human sacrifice. But the only tool they use in general is their shared fantasy. The shared fantasy can only be destroyed by reality, not by another shared fantasy, not by a revenge fantasy, by reality. Because reality is the antidote to fantasy. Bring facts. Bring established reality. and you will not be sacrificed. If the narcissistic family cult can sacrifice no one and nothing anymore, they are then confronted with themselves, and this means that they sacrifice themselves, because death drive is asking for sacrifice. Death drive creates aggression. If they can't externalize aggression onto a scapegoat and humiliate a scapegoat, they are exposed to their own voices and to their own death drive, to their own destruction. So they have to sacrifice themselves. Reality is your friend.